think it perhaps is Marmite.
I would argue. Hello and welcome to Go to Bat, a series shining a light on the hidden gems you should be watching. Today, my guest is Leila Farzad. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You aren't in one new project at the minute, you're in two.
I know, it's a very greedy, exciting month for me.
Is it weird when you're working on something, obviously over a period of time, and then suddenly you realise, oh, these are going to come out at
At the same time? Yes, because one was shot 2 years ago and one was shot last year, and they've both shown up at the same time. Well, yeah, no, it's nice to be able to have them both there.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of have similar messages, which is quite nice.
They do.
For things like interviews, so
Yeah.
you can kind of go there.
You kind of link them in. So
Yeah.
one is the Decameron and one is Kaos.
Yes.
Like you say, they've got similarities but also very distinct in their own manner. The Decameron is out now, it's on Netflix. Talk to me a bit about kind of how that project came to you, your character.
It came to me, just a tape, a Zoom audition to play this kind of stalwart backbone of the piece, which obviously is brilliant, but you don't get to do the silly comedy because you're there as a foil for the silliness. So I used to get little pangs of like, oh, I kind of wish I could be a bit silly and a bit OTT, because she's there to eye roll, kind of basically having a cigarette on the side going, these guys are so dreadful. These are such disgusting people. So she's kind of the viewer in a way. So yes, and then it was kind of a no-brainer when it was an offer.
It's got a great cast as well.
It's got an amazing cast.
I mean, are you a fan of girls?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so,
I was starstruck, and Sex Education and Veep and Derry Girls and all the brilliant shows that they've all been in. The level of comedy and wit on that set was extraordinary.
Just jokes flying back.
Yeah, jokes flying around, but not too much like bants, which can be really tedious. I mean, I felt very lucky joining that gang, let me tell you. I really was like, oh my God, these are proper comedy legends. So yes, but I think everyone brings a different flavour and a different colour. So then you get this lovely, I don't know what you want to call it, tagine, tapestry, something that's really delicious.
Excuse me for saying so, but you are deliciously round on my knee.
I am plumper than my dress conveys.
It's had a really lovely response. I think it perhaps is Marmite.
I would argue. I think it's that whole thing of like when you've got modern day music and something that looks like it's set in the past. Some people might be like, some purists were like, wait, what?
Yes.
But then other people on the flip.
Proper hardcore Boccaccio fans.
Yeah.
There aren't that many, but they might take offence.
Yeah.
Or people that wanted more truth to the actual original text. But generally, it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to modesty?
And then you got Kaos, which is a chaotic show. Now, Kaos is that's kind of my wheelhouse of TV. Just kind of sprawling ensemble where you kind of watch one episode and a character bobs in, and 4 episodes later that character is thrust into the spotlight and then it takes new meaning. So Kaos is ticking my boxes.
Oh, great.
When you read the plot, some people might read the plot and go, I don't know, I don't fancy that. It's like, it's too high concept.
Yeah.
I implore everyone to give it a go because you're hooked, aren't you?
I think, I'd like to think that it's actually very accessible, despite appearing sort of highfalutin and being based in the Greek myths. I'd say the language and the themes and the energy are accessible.
Yeah, for sure. And some of the performances are fantastic. Obviously, we've got Jeff Goldblum in there, kind of like at the centre of it.
I made you, and this is how you repay me.
Everyone brings something, and everything has such its own distinct style. I don't want to say anything about giving anything away.
I know there's like an A4 list of spoilers.
There's stuff that you can't
that
say.
I've had to study, but I'm glad you say that, because I feel like the casting was so clever in that no one sounds the same, looks the same, brings the same performance and energy, and Greek myths are full of these crazy, idiosyncratic creatures, characters. So I hope that that's been translated into
It definitely
the show.
has. It feels like 5 shows in one.
Great.
And then seeing that all blend is like part of the thrill.
Yes.
So your situation in the show, I don't
Yes.
know how deep we can go into it because obviously for spoilers, but you play Ari.
I play Ari.
Ari, and Ari she's a very interesting character because she's kind of, again, I don't want to spoil it, but she's traumatized by an event in her life, and that's unfairly kind of tainting her future, perhaps.
Yes.
So for you, again, how much fun could you have in the role when you're dealing with something quite traumatic? There's a traumatic background there. Yeah.
I am not one of the kind of very OTT characters. I'm quite an earthed Greek character who, like you said, is informed by this really tragic past that's sort of infused into her bones and cell system, and she carries the weight of this thing that happened to her when she was very little. And so you see her, she's almost a royal figure. She's from a very high status family, and she's very subservient, and she is Minos's daughter. That's kind of how she's not a protagonist unto herself in the beginning. And then the spoilers, which we will not say, means that she breaks free from that eventually and can, go on to be a warrior and fight for things that are more important. So being able to go on that journey as an actor is a real treat.
I bet.
Yeah.
And you worked with Georgie before on I Hate Suzie, of course. And Billie Piper is in this as well.
Cassandra. She's incredible, of course.
So great. I mean, the whole cast, it is like a who's who, really, isn't it? Like, even like smaller roles, like, wait a minute.
There's a whole smorgasbord of actors that you've loved and gone, oh, it's him.
It's great. So
and new faces as well.
Yeah, big star. Did you get to hang with Billie?
No, we were never on set on the same time. She got out of a car, I got into a car, and we gave each other, and that was it.
This series, whilst also talking about your two brilliant new shows, we like to talk about the stuff you've been in that might not have got the love it deserved at the time of release. So, what have you picked? Yeah, go on.
I have picked Avenue 5, Series 2.
Avenue 5, I'm sure everyone knows what that is, but just for those who don't, it's Armando Iannucci, Simon Blackwell kind of written show that was on HBO, quite big budget, I think it's fair to say.
Yes.
Starring Hugh Laurie and a whole bunch of other brilliant actors.
Phenomenal actors.
And it ran for 2 series and then it got cancelled.
It did. They said no more, thank you.
Outrageous.
It is. I think it didn't quite get the traction it should have in Series 1. And I think actually, to my taste, not just because I'm in it, but I do think Series 2 is even funnier and finds its feet more. But I wonder if maybe if you don't make enough of a footprint in Series 1, people sort of don't pay enough attention.
Yeah.
And it is niche because it is set on a spaceship and it is a very particular brand of humour. I mean, I love Armando's humour, but having rewatched bits of it, it's to me so witty and so silly, and again like a commentary on humanity and how we all behave in a crisis and how inherently selfish people can be. And the cast is, Zach Woods, Josh Gad, Susie Nakamura, Rebecca Front, and Hugh, who's, frankly, if Hugh leads the show.
Sorry, I'm just internalising a lot of panic and fear right now. But now I've done that, and I'm back in the room.
It raises that question, like, why doesn't something land, and could it have landed if it was released a year before or a year later? Like, what kind of goes into making a show a hit? And I guess you, as an actor, you have no idea when you receive a script.
No.
Like, you have no sense, right?
No.
I guess unless it's like...
Well...
Oh, do you? Yeah. Talk to me. You're the one who gets the script.
No, I was thinking, I've been on a show where I've known, like, this is a pretty sort of, it's a fine script, but I certainly wouldn't carry on after episode 2.
Interesting.
It's like, it's quite boring and samey, and I don't like how the female characters are written. And so I think you know the good scripts, but then it can go through so many processes and so many cooks can be in that broth that then the eventual products can be a bit disappointing and that wasn't what the script was so pure. And then I think in the other way, you can have quite an average, bland script, but with excellent editing and excellent acting and brilliant direction and some snazzy film work, you get something that people get really obsessed with. And also it's that weird thing, isn't it, that herd mentality when people decide to make something go viral and you watch it and you go, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not digging this.
Yeah,
but
I'm not digging
okay.
it, but everyone's saying
What am
I
I
should
missing?
watch it. So
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
I'll give it a go, yeah.
Like, it's really strange because you had all the ingredients
Yes.
for it to be a hit, and then it doesn't land. And it's something that I kind of, when I report or think about it or talk about TV, just like, if it went on Netflix, maybe it would have found an audience. But HBO is like one of the last bastions in America of like, something on HBO, that could become like a water cooler series.
Yes.
Which we don't really have a lot of them anymore.
No, you're right.
Because
White Lotus was the
White
last one.
Lotus, and then Succession just before that.
I suppose Baby Reindeer.
Well, that's
true.
I guess the difference
recently.
is, right, where it's like, with Baby Reindeer, everyone's watching it, you know that, but you're not sure what episode they're on.
Yes.
And you're a bit like, wait, have you watched the episode? And
Yes. And you end up watching it because you can't bear everyone talking about it. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to have to watch this because I can't.
And I'm going to have to binge it.
I'm going to have to binge it.
Yeah.
And it's not pleasant to binge.
Absolutely not.
It will make you hurt a bit.
Yeah.
On
it's
many
going to
levels.
Yeah,
it's not White Lotus is pure enjoyment.
Yeah. That transports you, doesn't it?
And Succession is just heavenly.
If the White Lotus, would that be like a dream job, something like the White Lotus?
Of course.
Like an ensemble of people
course.
Yeah.
I think when they were casting the latest one, I mean the buzz, people were like, has anyone?
Well, like rippling around the
Yeah,
acting
exactly. It's filming someone really exotic, but I'm sure it's going to be extraordinary. When Jennifer Coolidge died, though, I was like, no. Well, then there can't be another because she's the heartbeat of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what happens.
That was the real bait and switch, wasn't it? Where you're
Wasn't
like,
it?
wait a minute.
She's going to survive the drowning,
Yeah.
right?
Like, who actually died though?
Yeah.
It actually left me with a sleepless night because she died in such a cruel way, and I was like, yeah, but she's so stupid. I'm like, no, you want to just give her a cuddle and just be like, Tanya, it's going to be all right. Yeah.
Although I was very upset when she didn't pick up do you remember the lady that had done the full plan of how she was going to run her spa?
Oh, yeah.
And then she doesn't follow through.
She doesn't follow through. She's just like, right, bye.
Bye, I'm going to go. And you're like, okay. She's been up all night.
She's
one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she needs
Sure,
to be.
there's
She
a
just
lot
needs
of
to be
them.
loved.
Yeah, exactly.
Most characters that are hateful just need to be loved.
Right.
That would be my hot take.
Yeah, I like that. So your characters, would you say a lot of them have love, need love? What would you say? What do you prefer playing?
Yeah, actually that is a theme with a lot of because I play slightly jagged, jaded women. And I'd say a lot of them, need reassurance and love, and needed it perhaps when they were very young. And so because they didn't get it, have grown extremely thick, almost metallic skin to keep out any pain, because they will never be hurt again.
Yeah.
So Stratilia has been treated very badly and desperately heartbroken, and has a little boy to look after. So she's tough as old boots, but inside is obviously would love to be loved and looked after and love. Yeah. Naomi, the same.
Big star.
A lot of heartbreak in her childhood, and Ari's comes into the world with heartbreak. Yeah. And the prophecy that hangs over her head.
Something very interesting about Ari, and just like how, because of the how she came into the world, just how her life has been kind of dictated by, in some way, like men. I know,
yes.
but like, it's crazy.
No, of course it is.
You've got her dad, and then you've got Prometheus, kind of like using everyone as like little pawn pieces,
yeah.
and
Zeus.
Being Zeus with everyone.
Yeah,
and you just see this like in her early episodes. I won't go into specifics, but she is manipulated. She has to really request and plead for something that she wants.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like she's
been
great,
controlled.
powerful woman, but she's living in control.
Yeah, under this kind of, the gods are a kind of totalitarian regime.
Yeah.
That everyone is, and he is male, the main god, and then her father is the next person down. And they are, controlling her every action, what comes out of her mouth. Yeah. And she has enough at some point.
Well, look, it's been wonderful chatting to you.
It's been wonderful chatting to you.
I really I'm assuming everyone's already watched The Decameron, but if they haven't, they should go and watch that.
Yes.
But I think Kaos is going to be a show on everyone's lips, especially.
I hope so.
I hope so as well. And I mean, I don't know if it's too premature to ask, but is there any word about a follow-up? Or is
I
that
think
just far too
perhaps there is perhaps the word of a follow-up.
So we need people to watch it.
Yeah, I think we need people to watch it and go on that odyssey with us because it's extraordinary. And like you said, I think it will stay with you and bring up questions and themes that are universal, not just Greek mythi.